After creating our geometry, we have a number of transformation tools that can allow us to manipulate geometry further. Let's start with a simple box. I'm just going to go into perspective mode. And we're going to try and move this box. I'm going to type move into the command line, and it's going to ask us for an object that we want to move. And then it's going to ask us to select a point to move from. So let's click arbitrarily in space. And then you'll notice as we move our mouse, we get a preview of where we're going to move this box to. The command line's asking us to specify a point to move to, and when we click, the box will move. We can redo our move command by hitting the spacebar again. And this time, instead of clicking twice, let's specify a distance. I'm going to go with 300, so it's a very accurate movement, which gives us a lot more accurate control over our transformations in Rhino. Let's select our box and type rotate into the command line. We'll be asked for a center of rotation, and then an angle or a reference point. If we move our mouse around, we're able to rotate freely around that center point, and then we can click to specify the rotation. We can also rotate with a specific angle, so let's rotate again, and then type 45 as the angle we want to rotate by. I'm just going to undo this back to the start. We can also copy our geometry. Let's type copy into the command line. Copy works the same as the move command, except we can continue copying until we hit return. We can also scale our geometry so it becomes smaller or larger. Let's type in scale, and we're asked to specify a base point, and then a scale factor or reference point. If we click again, we can then drag and preview our geometry at a smaller or larger scale. We can also scale more accurately. Let's repeat the command, and this time, let's type a scale factor of 0.5, which will scale our box by half. Another transformation command that's really useful is orient 3 point. It'll ask us to specify 3 points, so let's click 1, 2, 3, and they will serve as reference points for where we want to reorient this geometry to. If we click off in space, we can get an understanding of where this will be oriented. Always watch your command line for options that you can change. Our command line is asking us if we want to copy or scale this as well. I'm going to toggle copy onto yes, so I create a copy of this geometry when I run the command. Another really interesting transformation tool is the array tool. Let's type in array, and we're going to be asked for the number of arrays in the X, Y, and Z directions. Let's go 5 in X, 4 in Y, and 1 in Z. Then it's going to ask us to specify a rectangle, which will show us a preview of this array. Once we're happy with the rectangle, we can click again and we'll have an array of that geometry in the formation that we've specified. Let's undo and look at another array command called array linear. Array linear works similarly, but actually allows us to array objects along a line that we draw. I'm going to do 6 objects in my array and then specify a line. You can see the preview appearing before we've drawn our second point. Let's touch on a couple of other helpful tools in Rhino we can use to navigate and select and manipulate our geometry. If I select this box, I select the whole thing, but what if I wanted to select the front face only? If I hover over this front face and use Shift, Control, and left mouse button click, I'm actually able to select into the face of this geometry. I could then manipulate the geometry with things like the move command and move that face out on its own. I could even rotate it or use some of our other transformation tools as well. This extends to other properties within our geometries as well. I can select the vertices of our box with Shift, Control, and click as well, and I can also select the edges with Shift, Control, and click, and I can manipulate these with our transformation tools as well. In Rhino 8, we can actually use smart CPlane that automatically align to objects that we've selected. If you come to the bottom of our interface and select Auto CPlane on, we can test this out. Let's use Shift Control click on that front face again, and you'll see that the CPlane automatically aligns to that front face. You could do this with the top plane as well, or the side plane. This enables us to also draw on this CPlane. So if I use a polyline, I can draw around this, and you'll see that this polyline aligns to that CPlane we've selected. I'm going to go back and turn our Auto CPlane off and delete that polyline. Another really helpful tool for navigating around our viewport when you've got lots of geometry are the zoom tools. So let's create another array to demonstrate this. What if I want to zoom in specifically to this box over here? I can type in zoom and then hit S for selected, and it'll zoom straight into the geometry that I have selected in my Rhino viewport. And if I want to go back and see everything in my scene again, I can type zoom and go E for extents, which will show me all the geometry in my scene in the window. These tools are really critical for navigating around your scene when you've got a complex model.